Could a single glance at your phone cost you over $400 and your license? Thousands of Australian drivers discovered this the hard way in 2025 when they received fines from cameras they never even saw. The rules have changed dramatically, and what was acceptable just months ago can now get you suspended immediately. Welcome back to Senior Benefits Guide. Our mission is helping Australians navigate the changing landscape of regulations, benefits, and requirements that affect everyday life. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because we're constantly updating you on critical changes you need to know about. Today's topic affects every single person who drives in Australia. Let's start with the technology that's revolutionizing road enforcement. Artificial intelligence-powered cameras are now operating across every Australian state and territory. These systems use machine learning algorithms combined with high-definition imaging to monitor driver behavior 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Unlike traditional speed cameras that you might spot by the roadside, these AI cameras are often hidden within existing infrastructure or mounted on mobile trailers that relocate regularly. The cameras capture multiple images of every passing vehicle from different angles. One camera films at a shallow forward angle to detect phones held to the ear or seatbelt violations. Another camera films at a steep downward angle to catch phones resting on laps or being touched. The infrared flash allows clear images at night, and the system works perfectly in rain, fog, or bright sunshine. Every vehicle gets photographed. Whether you're speeding or driving perfectly legally, here's how the AI works. Within seconds of capturing your image, sophisticated software analyzes the photo, looking for specific violations. It identifies the shape of mobile phones, recognizes hand positions, detects missing or improperly worn seat belts, and flags potential offenses for human review. If the AI detects something, your images get sent to trained verification officers who review them before issuing fines. This two-stage process prevents false positives, though the system's accuracy rate is extremely high. NSO has been operating this technology since December 2019, and by 2025 had scanned over 135 million vehicles. Between 2022 and 2023, over 28,600 fines were issued for mobile phone offenses alone, generating $67.3 million that went into the Community Road Safety Fund. Victoria's cameras detected 19,063 offenses just in the first 3 months of 2025. South Australia activated their system throughout 2024 and 2025 at 5 priority locations, including Port Wakefield Road and South Road. Tasmania's cameras on the Tasman Bridge caught 700 drivers per week for phone use by mid-2025, compared to only 458 drivers for the entire previous year. Western Australia completed a 7-month trial that identified over 275,000 offenses before going fully operational with fines from October 8, 2025. The ACT expanded their camera capabilities from November 3rd AR to include seatbelt detection in addition to phone use. What exactly gets you fined? Any situation where you're holding a mobile phone in your hand, whether at ear level, chest level, or lower, is an offense. Resting a phone on your leg, even if you're not touching it, is an offense. Touching a phone that isn't secured in a fixed mounting is an offense, even if you're just moving it. These rules apply whether you're moving or stationary. Sitting at a red light doesn't give you permission to check your phone. For full license holders, you can use your phone only if it's in a cradle fixed to the vehicle. You operate without touching it through Bluetooth or voice activation, and you're using it solely for navigation, calls, or audio functions. You cannot browse social media, read texts, take photos, or use any function beyond these permitted uses. Learner and provisional drivers face absolute prohibition. They cannot use phones for any purpose while driving, including GPS navigation or music streaming, even if the phone is mounted and voice controlled. The penalties are substantial. In NSW, illegal mobile phone use costs 423 demerit points or 514 in school zones. During double demerit periods like Christmas, Easter, and long weekends, that becomes 846 and 10 demerit points. PL face immediate license suspension for phone use. 5 demerit points might not sound like much, but provisional drivers only get 4 points per year, meaning a single phone offense exceeds their annual limit and triggers automatic suspension for at least 3 months. Seatbelt violations carry similar weight. Not wearing a seatbelt costs $423, and 3 demerit points in NSW doubled during holiday periods. This applies to drivers and all passengers, including those in rear seats. The driver receives the fine for unbelted passengers, making you responsible for ensuring everyone buckles up before you move the vehicle. Beyond the AI cameras, speed limits are being reduced across Australia in response to rising road fatalities. From July 2024 to July 2025, road deaths increased by 2.9% nationally, with a fatality rate 1.3% higher than the previous year. Governments cite increasing hospitalizations, young driver accidents, and senior driver accidents as justification for the sweeping reforms. Queensland reduced speed limits in high pedestrian areas from 50 to 40 kilometers per hour throughout 2025. Western Australia implemented 40 kilometers per hour limits on over 1,800 regional roads and in busy town centres. Victoria, NSW, and South Australia are progressively reducing residential area speed limits from 50 to 40 kilometers per hour in selected suburbs with clear signposting. School zones in multiple states now have 30 kilometers per hour limits during school hours, down from the previous 40. Rules around emergency and roadside assistance vehicles have been standardized. Victoria requires drivers to slow to 40 kilometers per hour when passing stationary emergency vehicles, tow trucks, or roadside assistance vehicles with flashing lights on any road. Penalties for non-compliance reach $961. South Australia is stricter, requiring 25 kilometers per hour when passing these vehicles on multi-lane roads, with fines up to $1,895 and 9 demerit points. NSW requires 40 kilometers per hour when the posted limit is 80 or less. These rules exist because roadside workers face extreme danger from passing traffic. For senior drivers, the most significant change is mandatory medical assessments. From mid-2025, drivers aged 60 and over must complete medical and vision tests every 3 years until age 70. After 70, some states require annual assessments. The test isn't designed to take licenses away from older drivers. It's designed to identify health conditions that might affect driving safety, such as deteriorating vision, reduced reaction times, certain medications, or cognitive decline. Your general practitioner can conduct these assessments. The test checks visual acuity for distance and near vision, peripheral vision range, color recognition for traffic signals, basic cognitive function and memory, medication review for drugs that impair driving, and any physical conditions affecting vehicle control. You'll receive a certificate that must accompany your license renewal application. Plan ahead, because if your license expires before you complete the medical, you might face delays in renewal or need to retake driving tests. The medical requirement recognizes that aging affects everyone differently. Many seniors maintain excellent driving skills into their 80s and beyond. However, some age-related changes can occur gradually without the driver realizing their abilities have declined. Regular assessments create a safety net that protects both the senior driver and other road users. Drink driving penalties increased substantially in October 2025. First offenses now carry fines of $980, up from previous levels with mandatory license suspensions. The duration depends on blood alcohol concentration. Low-range offenses of 0.5 to 0.88 typically result in 3-month suspensions. Mid-range offenses of 0.8 to 0.15 result in 6-month suspensions. High range offenses above 0.15 result in automatic 12-month disqualifications. Second and subsequent offenses carry mandatory imprisonment in several jurisdictions. For learner and provisional drivers, the limit remains zero. Any detectable alcohol results in immediate license suspension, even if the blood alcohol concentration would be legal for a full license holder. This zero tolerance approach reflects research showing even minimal alcohol significantly impairs inexperienced drivers. Distracted driving enforcement has expanded beyond mobile phones. While eating, drinking, smoking, or vaping while driving isn't explicitly illegal, police can issue fines up to $561 and 3 demerit points under careless or negligent driving provisions if they observe you failing to maintain proper control. This includes swerving between lanes, delayed reactions to traffic conditions, or any indication that your attention is compromised. The discretion allows officers to target genuinely dangerous behavior rather than someone taking a careful sip of water at a red light. Provisional driver restrictions have been standardized nationally from July 2025. P1 drivers cannot drive between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m., except for documented work, education, or family emergencies. They must carry written proof of the exemption, such as an employer, letter, or enrollment confirmation. P1 drivers under 25 can only carry one passenger under 21 during late night hours, excluding immediate family members. This peer passenger restriction recognizes research showing young passengers dramatically increase risky driving. Behaviors among provisional drivers. High-performance vehicle bans for provisional drivers are being enforced more consistently. Vehicles with power-to-weight ratios exceeding 130 kilowatts per ton are prohibited. Each state maintains an online database where you can check whether a specific vehicle is approved or banned for provisional use. Driving a prohibited vehicle results in immediate license suspension and potentially vehicle impoundment. Western Australia's Tom's Law restricts P1 drivers to one peer passenger AED 16 to 24 for the first 6 months of the license with family exemptions. The midnight to 5 a.m. curfew applies during this initial period as well. After 6 months, standard P1 rules apply for the remainder of the provisional period. Overseas license recognition has tightened. Western Australia eliminated the experienced driver recognition category from November 1st, EST 2025. Overseas drivers from countries that previously received automatic full license recognition now must take theory and practical tests to obtain W licenses. This change aims to ensure all drivers understand Australian road rules and can demonstrate practical driving ability under local conditions. Red light camera technology has advanced significantly. New AI systems can detect rolling stops where drivers don't come to a complete halt before the stop line. Even if you stop partway through the intersection without entering the cross-traffic area, the camera registers the violation. Standard red light fines range from $415 to over $600 depending on the state, plus 3 to 6 demerit points. During double demerit periods, these penalties double. Electric vehicle lanes are being introduced in New South Wales and Victoria on selected major roads during peak hours. These dedicated lanes aim to reduce congestion and encourage EV adoption. If you're driving a petrol, diesel, or hybrid vehicle in an EV lane during restricted hours, you face fines similar to bus lane violations. Clear signage indicates when EV lanes operate, typically during morning and evening peak periods. Fines across the board increased to reflect inflation. NS dollars raised all penalties by 3.2% from July 1st. St. Queensland increased fines and registration costs by 3% throughout 2025. These adjustments happen annually, so penalties will continue rising gradually each year. What cost $400 this year might cost $420 next year, and the demerit points remain constant regardless of inflation adjustments. Some positive changes for drivers include extended consultation periods on controversial proposals. The federal government's plan to reduce default rural speed limits from 100 to between 70 and 90 kilometers per hour received significant pushback, and the consultation deadline was extended to November 10th to allow more community input. Final decisions haven't been made, showing that public feedback can influence policy. Queensland offered a 20% discount on light vehicle registration from September 16, 2024 through September 15, 2025 to help with cost of living pressures. While this benefit has now expired, it demonstrates that governments occasionally provide relief measures alongside increased enforcement. South Australia is legalizing privately owned scooters and personal mobility devices expected to come into effect mid to late 2025 following an education period. Riders won't need registration or licenses, but must follow specific safety rules, including helmet use, speed limits, and designated path usage. This modernizes transport regulations to reflect changing urban mobility patterns. NSW introduced exemptions for Sikh turbans, allowing Sikhs to ride bicycles, e-scooters, and motorcycles without helmets when wearing turbans. This balances religious accommodation with safety requirements, though the proposal received mixed feedback regarding fairness and safety implications. So, what should you do to stay compliant? First, and most importantly, never touch your phone while driving. Set up navigation before you start. Let calls go to voicemail. If you absolutely must use your phone, pull over safely and completely. Second, ensure everyone in your vehicle wears seatbelts correctly every single trip. No exceptions. Third, if you're 60 or over, schedule your medical assessment well before your license renewal is due. Don't wait until the last week because processing takes time. Fourth, stay informed about speed limit changes in areas you regularly drive. What was familiar might have changed. Always watch for signage and adjust your speed accordingly. Fifth, slow down significantly when passing emergency vehicles, tow trucks, or roadside assistance vehicles with flashing lights. Learn your state's specific requirement because they vary from 25 to 40 kilometers per hour. If you're a provisional driver or have teenagers learning to drive, understand the restrictions completely. Make sure they know about passenger limits, curfews, and the absolute prohibition on phone use. One serious mistake can derail their independence and career prospects if they lose their license. Consider these changes from a broader perspective. Road fatalities and serious injuries have increased despite decades of safety improvements to vehicles and infrastructure. The government's Vision Zero strategy aims to eliminate deaths and serious injuries by 2030. While that goal might seem ambitious, the combination of technology, stricter penalties, and behavioral change can make significant progress. The AI camera systems are just the beginning. Future technology might include in-car monitoring systems, vehicle-to-infrastructure communication that automatically adjust speeds in school zones, and even greater automation. The trend is toward removing human error from the driving equation wherever possible. For seniors, maintain your independence by staying compliant and healthy. Regular medical checks aren't just bureaucracy, they're opportunities to address issues early before they affect your driving safety. Many seniors drive safely well into their ADS by maintaining good health, staying mentally active, and adapting their driving patterns to their abilities. Remember that every rule exists because people died or were seriously injured. Those phone use restrictions. People have crashed and killed others while checking a text that could have waited. Seatbelt laws. Unbelted passengers become projectiles in crashes, killing themselves and others. Speed limits. Excessive speed dramatically increases crash severity and reduces reaction time. Emergency vehicle slowdown rules. Roadside workers have been killed by passing traffic countless times. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe to Senior Benefits Guide. We monitor changes to regulations, benefits, and requirements that affect Australians every day. Share this video with family and friends who drive, especially if they're seniors or Young provisional drivers, drop a comment if you have questions about specific scenarios, and thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.